Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's stream live on Twitch and YouTube. I'm joined by Johan and Tassos to talk about today's, or actually this week's release, in which we opened the registration for the brand new Homegrown League, implemented new achievements, tweaked the sponsor contracts and team confidence as well, and gave Platinum and Diamond supporters the chance to have a fourth team. While we wait for everyone to join, let's see the video where we explain the main topics of this release, and you can now start asking questions if you have any. Hi, fellow hat truckers! Today we're releasing many new things that we hope you will really enjoy. First of all, the new Homegrown League is ready to start. It will be an international league where teams cannot buy any players. Therefore, all your players will come from your initial team or your youth team. I'm so looking forward to it. The league will start in a few weeks, but today we're opening the registration period. We strongly encourage you to register now. First of all, to be guaranteed a spot, since we will use the early registrations to decide the size of the league. Secondly, because in the registration you will be able to vote for the name of this Homegrown League out of 4 options that we have prepared. Remember that you must be a Platinum or Diamond supporter with an available team slot to participate. The good news is that it's now possible for Platinum and Diamond supporters to have up to 4 permanent teams. Check the shop to see the new offers and products. You don't need to open this 4th team in the Homegrown League. You can open it in any of the existing leagues, and also in the new league that we'll be welcoming next season, Guinea. And we're also announcing that all the recently added new leagues will enter the World Cup system in January next year, starting with the Continental Cups that month. We're also releasing a selection of new achievements and an update to the sponsor contract system with new numbers that will make your choices more meaningful. Also, the player ratings after a match have a star in them, so that they are displayed in the same way across the site and in the mobile app. In case you prefer to see only the number, you can choose this on the settings page. If you want to know more about everything that's included in today's release, you can read the editorial, visit the thread in the Global English Forum, or join us later this week on Twitch. We hope you will enjoy this release. So later this week on Twitch, that's today. And well, here we are. We have I have lots of things to actually talk about, because I think this has been a quite big release, I would say, with the Homegrown League, the 4th team, the achievements, sponsors. I'm actually surprised that the few people mentioned the sponsors when it's something that has been asked for months. And now that the sponsors are a little bit better, the other things like kind of eclipsed this.
Maybe that discussion will come when they see it. It's hard to have an opinion before it comes before your eyes. But I think this was very, very full, this release, and it was even like when I was writing the tutorial that I like had to, I remembered like major features that was not in there because there was just so much stuff to put. So that's the way it is. But I guess it's clear which one of these gained the most attention, and that's the Homegrown League that have caused the most questions.
Because the sponsors, what has changed, Tassos, for the sponsors?
Well, sponsors has been split it in 2 phases. So the first phase is the most simple one, which, as we said, we are going to tweak a little bit the numbers to make the choices more meaningful, if we can say, because right now those contracts that are the most risky are the seasonal. or if we can say specific, like those that you can aim for a promotion or for the top three. That contracts make sense only if you were in the lowest divisions. Because if you lose that, then you lose a lot of money because you don't get anything. So we are tweaking a little bit the numbers, make them closer to the default, meaning that we're reducing the risk of those contracts. We are gonna remove some contract options from the lowest division to make it sure that we are not pushing users to drop down to get the easy contracts. So it will be more like you get the contract whenever you need it and not when forcing a specific one. We are gonna reduce the number of contracts from 5 to 3. That's more like a vision rather than it's something we are thinking like we are gonna have the default, the easy one. We are gonna have the risky contract, and then we are gonna have something that might not be linked to pure competitiveness. It can be something about building your team. So, but that's a next phase. It's more like a vision of why we want to be 3. And then we have several other ideas that we don't know if we are going to make it in this release, like the upcoming one. But that's the first step. Then the next season, instead of waiting the next season break, we start right away to continue working on the next release. We're going to have we are going to monitor and see if we need to tweak the numbers again. But in the long term, we want to have something as a self-balance mechanism, something that will evaluate the whole economy and gonna tweak the numbers every season based on that. Another idea that we have was what if tool that I like to call it, which at the end of the season, you will be able to evaluate how your income could be if you have chosen another option from those that you had. And then, of course, we have ideas for a new type of contracts. As we said, something that might not be entirely related to being competitive. Let me check a little bit my notes. Yeah, I forgot another one. Like all the seasonal contracts, we plan to make them linked with another contract. I don't know if everyone remembers that you can either get one specific contract, like promotion or league goals at home, or you can get 2 type of contracts with a different weight. Like I can get both score at league matches and clean sheets at the same time. So what we make it is that all the seasonal contracts will always be with something else. So the reason for that is that we want to make sure that those that will choose the seasonal will keep having some steady weekly income. Yeah, that's more or less. It's we're still not sure how much we are gonna make this season and how much we are gonna do next season. But the plan is that we have a rolling 2 phase, like a phase out release.
Okay, so we have already some questions about it. For instance, this one. So the only real option for lower divisions is to get X plus Y per playing a league game?
Well, it depends. I mean, the next season, what we want to do is include more variables in the calculations, like the baseline, the fixed amount of money that you get. Right now, it's the same for based on your funds, and I think it's funds and division level. Yeah, I remember. So what we want to is to make it sure that we are going to increase more type of variables, maybe like series ranking. So if you play with a series full of bots, then you get less money compared with someone who plays in a really competitive series, even if it is the same division level. Or something that we don't have right now and we want to add is the size of the league. It's not the same to be in the Division 3 of Italy and being on Division 3 in Greece. So this kind of variables will come and make the choices a little bit more dynamic and not so no-brainer decisions as the question that just asked, like, if I'm there, then I only need to choose this. It will be more dynamic. So we will try to, and we don't promise that this will be the final version. I mean, contracts and sponsors in general is something that we want to keep building up. So and we can evaluate every season and add more type of contracts, remove some type of contracts. So we want to keep monitoring it, and whenever there is a need, then we will act based on that.
Mm-hmm. And Elialpa asks about the fall down at mid-season.
Good point. Yeah, thank you, thank you, Albert. That was another idea, and probably won't make it this season break. So it's planned for the next release. Is one of the problems that you have is 16 weeks is a lot, and you don't know how the plan will be after some unlucky matches. So one of the ideas that we haven't discussed in backstage is in the mid-season, we have something as a fallback. Like, okay, you chose to promote, but the plans might have changed. So around week 7, we ask you again, do you want to keep the same contract, or do you want to change with a little bit like a sort of penalty, like maybe dropping to top 3 if you want, if you don't want to stay there. The whole logic is not decided yet. We are still working on how this will be, like the specifications of it. But we have done a lot of discussion in backstage and identify all the problems that we have. Most of them we were already aware. And what we know is we need to fix those issues. We have those ideas that have been discussed. So we just need to put down the numbers and decide how exactly it will work. We know the first phase. It's like the second phase that will come next season is the one that we need to keep working on.
Mm-hmm. Okay, this is not a question, it's rather an opinion, but maybe you want to comment on it. Sahara Dog says, in my opinion, the most annoying thing about sponsor contracts is the ones that limit the way you can play in the season if you want to fulfill them. I hope those were removed in favor of ones where you can achieve their goal in numerous ways. That's a long phrase.
Yeah, I just try to understand which of them limits the way that you play in the season, because yeah, if you think about scoring, and you play offensive and then you want to change to defensive, then that might be. But yeah, as we said, we want to add more type of contracts. So not only being competitive, but other type of team buildings, maybe some kind of fun contracts. I mean, not everyone is willing or is under the phase of being competitive. So we want to touch that area as well.
Okay. So to sum up, now in the first phase, the numbers are just tweaked, right? In the next season,
reduce the number of contracts and remove some contracts from the lowest division. And make that seasonal will not be together, will always be together with something else. Those are plans for this season. And then I'm 99% sure we don't have time for more this season. So probably all the rest will come later on.
Okay. So now we can move on to another subject. For instance, the team confidence. And we have this question here. Can you compare the current and the future confidence system? Thanks.
Yeah, of course. So in the current system, it's more or less the same variables that affect the result, but it's deterministic. There is no random, even if some believed the opposite. After every match, you get we compare like the number of goals that you had compared with your opponents, and based on that, we decide how the team confidence will move. That effect was immediate in the visible team confidence of your team. And then we have like a weekly update that both sport psychology and leadership of your coach had an impact. However, the main problem was that if you had an lucky or an unlucky match, the impact was so big that could literally destroy seasonal the plans from your season, because there was like really strong peaks or drops right away. So without getting into numbers, the main idea for the new system is that the update after the match will update something like a background confidence that the visible one will act as a memory base, something like, in other words, it will be more smooth, and it will give you it will be more flexible on losses. If you lose once, then you don't see right away the impact. But if you lose a second time or a third time, then you start seeing that big drop. So it's more like a delay on the impact. Something you can think of it like that.
No, I think you need to be really in a bad streak to lose team confidence. It's not like you lose one match and then you're suddenly like sad your team has lost all the confidence. I think it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's more realistic. Imagine like you are winning 10 matches in a row, you are the best of your league, and then you lose one match and your confidence is destroyed. Like, it's not realistic. So you need to build up on this. You lose one, you lose second time, and then you start feeling uncomfortable.
Exactly. Okay. And this question by Dr. Chaos. With the team confidence, will the team confidence change the psychologist? With the team confidence, well, I don't really get the first sentence. Team confidence changes the way the psychologists are strong.
So what the question says that now psychologists will be more stronger than before. And I don't think that the way that we have done it is that it's really valuable to have at least a level 1. So if you don't have any psychology at all, then the impact will be stronger. But even if you have a level 1 or level 2, you still have some of these delays on the impact. I don't think it's overpowered. It depends a lot on your plans, and again, I really want to get the new model into the system so the users start seeing some real numbers and then get into conclusions, because it's really easy to say, okay, now we are going to destroy that part, or we are going to make that other area overpowered. But let's see how this will act, and then we will be there in the forum to discuss with everyone if they want to. I mean, we are totally fine to reevaluate, reconsider, tweak the numbers or whatever it's needed. But let's not take decisions even before we see something.
Okay, we have like some other questions about the confidence system. For instance, this one: do you think this is an impact to long shot teams?
I don't think that it has an impact, even if it as it was before. Long shot teams were something that's like protected by team confidence, because when they wanted to score, they didn't use team confidence at all. It was only used in regular chances. Actually, that was something that I kind of dropped as an idea in global, and it was really like no one commented. So I'm gonna mention it again so I can fix a little bit of feedback. So one of the ideas that we had is that all the tactics that can create an event right now, they use regular chances and team confidence is there. Like counter attack, they create another event, team confidence applied there. Attack on the wings, attack in the middle, all those things, create an event, and team confidence apply in the final ratings. Long shots is the only one that team confidence is total absence. So one of the ideas that we kind of had was to include the team confidence into the conversion, in the formula conversion of scoring with the long shots. Something that will not be like an extreme impact on that, but make it clear that if you have really, really low team confidence, then you struggle to score even with long shots. If you have high team confidence, then you score more. It's not something that Papa Miss asked for this thing. And not about converting the chances to long shots, but converting a long shots to a goal. So actually finishing the chance.
It actually makes more sense to need confidence for a long shot than like to shuffle in a ball in the box, so it feels right. Yeah.
Just to make it, because I just see another comment like rest in peace long shots. Nothing has been planned, nothing has been decided. We don't even have analyzed any kind of the impact. It's more like ideas of how we can build on top of this. Well, okay, we build a new system of team confidence. People keep asking about long shots, and this is one of the ideas.
Okay. What about this one? This confidence change, will it be applied also for national teams?
Right now, national teams have been really close to, actually have been closer to the new team confidence system compared to the other teams. They have that daily updates on team confidence, which is part of the new team confidence model. We probably won't make it this time because there are some variables that are used in the new model that don't exist in national teams. So right now, for example, national teams don't have like a coach. So we have a static fixed leadership for them. We can do the same for all the different variables, but then we actually minimize the whole project of team confidence. Like if we have fixed values, then the impact will be almost nothing compared to the previous version. So we need to evaluate and see if we should implement all this for national teams and then move this new team confidence system there. But I'm fairly sure that we are not going to release that for them this season break.
And back to the long shot teams and the confidence. Labella says that the long shots will be really overpowered in the first game of this season if we implement team confidence related to the chances, because after playing against the bot, it could increase. That's something to consider.
I mean, again, it's like making some assumptions before we even see the numbers. That makes the assumption that if you score a lot, then you get really high team confidence right away. But what we said is with the new team confidence, everything moves smoother. There's not like strong peaks from one day to the other. So one single win, one single lose will not bring a team to a totally different scenario. It's like it required some time, a couple of matches to see that impact.
And then Alpa asks, is overconfidence mechanism modified with this update?
No.
So it doesn't affect the overconfidence. No. Good. Easy answer.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we have explained everything about team confidence. So I guess what people are talking most about is the Homegrown League. I don't know, Johan, do we have any numbers of how many people have joined or registered for the Homegrown League?
I haven't checked in the database, but measuring on what you see on the sign up, it should be like maybe 1,400, something like around there. I think.
So it's good. 1,400. That would make like 5 divisions if it stays like that and rises a little bit more.
Yeah, we still have 5 days, right, of pre-registration, and then we will decide how big the league is. So it would be make it easier for us if we don't have to choose between 5 and 6.
Yeah. So there are lots of questions about it, and this one is quite recurrent in the forum. What is exactly football philosophy?
Yeah, that's a little it's a little thing that we have had for newbies, right? I mean, it's like instead of just picking a coach with offensive or defensive mentality, we like link some other stuff to that. So you get a modifier to your formation experience, and some players that are like tweaked according to your choice. Is that correct, Tassos? Like you get some bonus in defensive formations, for example, if you choose the defensive, and then we change the values for some players so they get more defense than scoring, for example. So that is like a one-time thing that happens in your starting squad. And we have had that for newbies for a long time, but now we I don't know if we've had it for additional teams. Is this the first time we do it for additional teams? I think it is. Yeah.
We released it maybe 2-3 weeks ago. So some new additional teams have already got that.
So now we realize that as an experienced old user, you want to know what does this choice imply. Like for a newbie that just comes to hat trick, it's not that important because I mean the choice itself is not that huge. It's more that we don't want all the teams to look exactly the same, and so it's nice to have customized it a little bit. So even if you choose defensive, well, I mean you could go in another direction, I guess. But in addition to this, there is also further choices that you do as a new team in Homegrown League. That is something that we added just for Homegrown League, but that we will use for all new users. So there's like a chain of choices for the first 20 days, I think, around 20 days. Like every 2 days, you choose a little boost, like a little choice, and most of those choices are picking a player, and then I mean Tassos explains this better, but he's been talking so much. I can say talk a little bit about this, but basically the principle is that you get offered one player of each kind, like a defender, a midfielder, a winger. And in each of these choices, you choose between a younger one and an older one. So if you choose the older one, he's better. He will have an impact immediately in your team. The younger one is more for the training. There are also some variety on specialities and so on. But we always try to keep those choices balanced in terms of value. So it's more about what team are you trying to build, and to make sure that all these teams in Homegrown League won't look exactly the same, because since you can't buy anyone and training takes time, it will be quite boring.
Yeah, actually, Papa Mish says that it's very interesting because in the Homegrown League, some will build long shot teams, while others will build all-out attack Norwegian teams. So picking the right orientation can help. I think this would be expert users, because I have the feeling that many users will go balanced, like safe option and midfield and
Now I get really confused. What is an all-out attack Norwegian team?
2-5-3, and forget about the defense.
Is that Norwegian in hat-trick?
I think so.
Oh, really?
I've just seen it like that. I think it's based, Papa Mish knows better, but I think it's based on a final against Sweden, maybe?
Okay.
in a World Cup in which Norway went like 2-5-3 and forgot about the defense and dominated the midfield, and with a strong attack managed to win.
Okay.
If I'm
Right.
wrong, please.
That's
Oh,
why
yes.
that's why I've erased it from my memory, I guess, because it's too traumatic to remember.
Yeah, this happens. You tend to erase things that you don't usually like.
Yeah.
World Cup 4 when Norway won. World
Okay.
Cup 4 already. Wow.
I was on a stream last week with the Swedish national team stream, and so I was like, we were discussing this trauma that we have in the Swedish community about not having won the World Cup for such a long time. But I can tell you that we're coming back. Yeah.
Okay, so lots of questions. Actually, we can go back to the choice for the football philosophy, because right today, someone, actually, Red John, posted in the forum, in the thread where we're talking about all this release, the experience that he had in an additional team by choosing defensive. And he says he got 5-4-1 instead of 4-4-2 as the only experienced formation. He got only 2 forwards instead of 3. A 10-year-old defender is excellent instead of solid, and a defensive coach, of course. And then someone wrote in the German forum that with the offensive philosophy, they got an attack coach, of course, 3-4-3 as the only experienced formation, an 18-year-old excellent forward, and 4 forwards in total. So I like it when users share this stuff, and I know some of the other users prefer us saying everything from the beginning, but I know it's a game.
Yeah.
I like it like that. I like users like getting together and finding things like that. And after
Just
that,
if I can make a really tiny note here, is that there
yeah.
have been a confusion in the forum
Uh-huh.
that the football philosophy and the team customization are two different, unrelated things.
Mhm.
So when we were mentioning team customization, like the first 20 days, it has
Yes.
nothing to do with the football philosophy that you choose. As you said, the football philosophy is those three things: coach, formation, starter team, and then it stops. This is how it is now. We might change it
Exactly.
in the future. But the team customization is something different that is not affected by your choice from the football philosophy. Just to make it clear, because I read about that a couple of times in the forum.
And the team customization is much more impactful than the football philosophy. I mean, that is that's going to have quite a big impact on your team, I think, during the first seasons.
Yeah, and related to the team customization, Tema Jr. asks about the players. I don't know. It seems to be kind of mixing both things, but are the players offered young or senior? For instance, if he selects a defender philosophy, which we already said that now is not the case, will he receive a 30-year-old player or a 17 or 18-year-old player? Forgetting about the philosophy, the players that now focusing in maybe in the Homegrown League or not, do you think we can share some more info about that, Tassos?
I think it's a mix. As you said, we swap a little bit the players. So you lose a defender, you get like a forward, and vice versa. So if I remember correctly the numbers, you get like an 18 years old, but you also get someone which is older. So it's a mix of those options. The team customization, as Johan said, will have more impactful decisions because there you have full. The whole decision is up to your hands. You choose if you want a young or an old one. So I would say that the football philosophy is more like how you start, and then that's it. It's the same for everyone.
Okay, this question from Labelas: how about the coach level? I mean, it's a little useless if it's level 6. It is like that for everyone then, because mostly will change it to level 7 immediately since you cannot buy any players.
Just to joke a little bit here, there's no level 6 and 7 anymore. What's that? Like, it's like,
Exactly. It's
is
3
he
and 4.
hacking the system? It's like cheating. Should we call GMs? Like,
yeah, it's 3 and 4 now. Yeah. Yeah, I guess most will do that, but maybe some others decide to, I don't know, invest in other things like the stadium. You never know. But it's true that I guess most people will change the coach straight away. So, to be clear with everyone, we have the additional teams that have this football philosophy and some choice of players and like improvements, even some formation experience that they may receive in the following days. However, in the Homegrown League, these things will be different, right? The perks that the users will, or that the teams will get.
So I got I was reading the comments and I got lost. You asked about the so I'm really sorry. I just found several comments that I wanted to start for later, and then I totally lost. You asked about the team customization, right?
Yeah,
and how that's different from the homegrown and the regular.
Yeah,
teams.
Especially the perks that the teams will get in the first days. So, for instance, formidable player, for instance, it's something that teams get after 5 days, maybe. And will they get that in the Homegrown League as well, or will it be different?
So we try to keep the differences to the minimum, because that was most of the feedback we got from the forum. Like, keep it as simple, keep it without special rules as much as possible. So we try to do that like that. And we have some differences that we can mention, but in most of the cases, it will be really similar with any other league and additional teams. Actually, every team, not just additional. So the one difference is that no one will start with passable or solid leadership coach, like any player, not coach. So we try to minimize that, so everyone has the same starting steps. So the max for Homegrown League is inadequate for the leadership. That's a different, because in other leagues you can get a passable one. Then in the different type of players that you get, in all the other leagues, there is a little bit of random. Like, you might get a goalkeeper with defending, or like a goalkeeper with set pieces. But in Homegrown League, there is no random. It's this or that. So we try to minimize the impact of how random a user could be and get something better than another one. And the last one is that we give 3 bonus players, starting players, with really low skills, but the same skills for the whole player. So you can start training them right away. So because if you choose for the youth academy, then you need to wait for season until you promote one. So you get 3 players and you can start training them. But that's the only differences compared with the other one, with the regular leagues.
Okay, we're having lots of questions now. I may not follow a specific order because there are lots of them. But for instance, this one, we have to make the decisions on team customization in the first 20 days, or can we choose at any time?
Okay, I can answer. So it's the customizations come up in your My Office, like in the dashboard, as something from your secretary, and then you can make the choice there. If you don't do it, it comes in a specific day. So let's say like day 2, day 4, day 6, something like that. If you don't be online, you don't lose it. It just pile up. And then when you next time you log in, you might get like all the 3 customizations that you missed. So it's not like we force anyone to log in every day for that. And but you cannot also force to do all the customization in the first week. You need to wait for that day to come, and it's the same day for everyone. So it's not like someone will get a defender the first day and another one will get the forward. It's the same choices for all the users for the same days that they start. They create their team.
Okay, more questions. This one, is the Homegrown League gonna have its own flag, or do they give the flag of their nationality?
Okay, I can answer that because you and me were sitting the other day hacking this flag.
Hacking.
Yeah, well, like throwing options between us. But the thing is, so as you might have heard, but not a lot of people have talked about it, but the name for the league is not actually decided yet. So we are like using Homegrown as a placeholder in a way, because it's not a name that is easy to translate to any languages really, and the English name is not easy to use untranslated either. So we think there's can be some freedom there. So, and since this is really all about the users creating their own clubs, and we thought maybe it would be nice if people could decide the name of the league as well. So we're gonna have a vote as soon as the league starts, like when it opens and you have your teams. We're gonna present 4 names and 4 logos, and then there's gonna be a vote in the forum. And I guess we update the flag also after that, so that the flag reflects the league. But all 4 names will like associate with the theme of Homegrown, but it won't be. Actually, I think one of the options is actually Homegrown itself, but the other 3 are different things. The Origins League, the Hat-Trick Roots, and the Domus League, I think, are the 3 ones that we have discussed. So we'll just see what the users prefer, basically, and there will be a flag. But as in any international league, your team has a nationality that is, like a real nation, so to say, a real league, and your players will belong to that national team system. So.
Okay. This question, also interesting. Will you join the Homegrown League? And do each of you have already your strategy in mind?
Yeah, this is my favorite question because we have gotten 8 HTs to sign up. So we're going to be super cheaters and put us all in the same series. So you can follow. It's going to be brutal. Brutal.
Yeah, I have to say that I like it, but at the same time, I want to beat all of you, but I want to have a long-term plan.
You also want to keep your job, right?
That's true. That's true. But I also want to have a long-term plan. So the plan is to have to build a very good team for some seasons, not to win in the first season, but playing against all of you.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way coming around it. I mean, the only thing that matters is how you do the first season.
Okay, I was just trying to find an excuse in case I don't win.
Yeah.
Okay, that's linked to this question more or less. Have the Homegrown teams already been assigned?
No.
Not yet. Not yet. After the registration process is finished, then.
And the pre-registration. So now nothing. We just have like a list of the teams of the users that want to have a team, and then we can decide exactly how the league structure will be, and then we will assign those teams.
Mm-hmm. So will the Homegrown teams be able to have a friendly next week? Next week, is it next Wednesday? I don't think so, right? I haven't thought about it.
let's see. We said that the pre-registration ends on the 14th, right?
So it's really on the deadline to book a friendly.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
it's
don't
better.
think.
Maybe it's better that we don't have it. Actually, I don't know. We have to get back to that.
Yeah, we'll get back to. Meanwhile, how many teams will be promoted in the first season? 1 or 2? Are all teams in the Homegrown League going to start in the lowest league level? We can start by replying the last question.
Yeah. So, I mean, the principle is that we want everyone to start in the same league level. That's the most important thing. But I mean, it will be the lowest league level as well. I don't see any reason why that would not happen. But I mean, imagine like, I mean, like we would prefer to close registration early to guarantee that we don't have like 50 teams that have to start in a division below. And let's say we have enough teams to fill the 5th division. How many teams is that? 2,000 or something?
2,000 and, well, this, the power of 2,
Yeah.
whatever.
So if we have 3,000
Okay.
teams, or 5,000 teams registering, of course, we would move all of those teams to a 6th division. But if we only have 2,500, maybe it's better that, or like we see that we're about to go beyond what would fit into one division, then we might stop and like close the registration so that no one else can enter until the season starts, and then we open it again. So there's a few considerations, but I'm pretty sure everyone will end up in the lowest division together with a few bots.
Yeah. Will there be the Homegrown League Cup first season?
I think so. I don't see why not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, yes, I think it's like spec, right, Asos?
I don't think it's anything special. The only thing is same with other new leagues. I think it will be neutral venue. That's the only difference. So there will be a cup, yes.
Yeah. What else? Other questions, like, for instance, getting back to the thing about us all sharing the same group. It would be funny to have a series with 8 HCs and to make a live every week during match day to see the games live, and some of them brag, whereas others will be sad. I'm up for it. Let's do that.
I think it might be a little too internal if we do it every week, but we could definitely do it sometime.
Yeah, maybe in the crucial matches, or the last match of the season, the first one, things like that.
Let's see how our teams develop before we commit to it.
Let's see how your team does, right? Okay, what else do we have here? If you guys have any questions that you want to reply to, just tell me. For instance, there's this one about what do you think about a boost or something for all teams that field 11 homegrown players? That is something that was debated a lot in the previous thread for the Homegrown League that is related to last month's release. There was this suggestion, not for inside the Homegrown League, because all the teams will field 11 homegrown players, but when these teams play outside this Homegrown League, or other homegrown teams play against other teams, some people suggested to have a bonus or boost to something when 11 homegrown players are on the field. What do you think? Do you like that? Do you think it's not necessary? I have my opinion.
I never thought about it. It's
personally, I don't really like it because we start giving too much to a specific tactic, and we said like it's the same way we said with the long shots. We want to promote hybrid. We don't want to promote extreme scenarios. And if we make the extreme scenarios more powerful, then it's like going against what we said. And then after that, giving a boost to 11 quick players, or like 11 players from the same nationality. I mean, they already get the bonus in the loyalty and the extra skill, the half skill. I don't think they need something more. Maybe what we could do is having like a special event, something like that. But giving static fixed bonus because of that, I'm not fan of the idea.
Okay, more questions. Is the Homegrown League everlasting, permanent? Easy answer, right?
Yeah, it is. That's the idea. Yes.
It is permanent. It's not like the Anniversary League that stopped after 8 seasons. And related to that, will the first subdivision winner in the Homegrown League get a hat-trick globe?
No, that is a one-time thing that requires a lot of work. So we'll have to think of something else. I think maybe I come around for a beer. We'll see. No, but we haven't thought about that. So there's going to be a huge amount of prestige winning it for sure.
And back to the 11 homegrown players on the field. Ele Alpa says he would prefer just a special comment, not even a special event in live when there are 11 players on the field. That's nice, I think. It's something that
we have something we call commander events, like fillers, events that come up between regular events, and they're only there to fill up the space. It's not like any impactful event. That would be nice. I mean, it's just a comment, nothing else. It doesn't give anything extra. I like the idea.
Back again to the subject of the 11 players. The trader says that now homegrown are underdogs, and it means it's something to compete against hybrid, which is a mix of homegrown teams and no homegrown players, or trading teams. I think it's a choice in a way that you take. I mean, I like homegrown teams. My teams are almost homegrown. So, but
I can see
my choice. I don't know.
I could see it feels like a little. I mean, like, why does it have to be 11? Shouldn't there like be a bonus if you have 9 homegrown players? I mean, it's like it feels like there should be some mechanism that would be more interesting, like deeper psychology, or like player chemistry between certain couples of players and stuff like that, rather than this. So
it was suggested in that thread that this boost could be, for instance, in formations. That is, if you have 11 homegrown players, it means that they have been playing together for years and playing in the same club, learning the same things. So maybe the formations could be a little bit more experienced, things like that. But I don't know. It's not something that we have to decide now.
No.
Just giving opinions. So you guys had not even heard about this discussion. So I guess it's new to you. So we can move to another thing, like Steve Reeves' question. He sees the Homegrown League being very circular, like set up, then promotions, training period, being competitive, and then rebuild and start again. Do you have any concern with starting a majority of teams at the same time, all hitting these stages at the same time? I don't. I don't. Not everyone plays the same way.
I mean, I think like the first like 5-6 seasons will have a very special feeling to it, because it will be similar to the anniversary league. It will be like a race to the top, right? What happens after that? It's gonna be, that's up to, we'll have to see how that happens. But I mean, then maybe something can be done if it turns out that it's very predictable or cyclical. But I think new teams will come in from the bottom, and some will leave, and there will eventually will be its own little community with its own culture and stuff in there. So I don't worry too much about it. I think for the first 5-6 seasons, it's a very unique kind of a competition there that we haven't seen in Hat-Trick before.
And in the previous question that we replied about how many divisions there will be in the Homegrown League, we didn't answer this. If 1 or 2 teams will promote, but it's it will be a normal league, like a normal pyramid. So if we have 5 divisions, it will be like in any league that has 5 divisions. And if we have 6, the promotion will be the same way. So we can guess it by this.
The point is that we had special rules for a new league, so the Hat-Trick Anniversary League. So I'm not really sure if we applied that here as well. Maybe it's better if we go back to the code and check and make sure, because we make that public.
I think this belongs to the decision that we will do when we know how many registrations we have. But I know that we have regretted having special rules for some leagues. Maybe we had for Apache League also special rules. I can't remember. But we'll have to come back to it and confirm when we know the size. But
now I'm understanding the question better, because in the first season everyone will be in the 5th division, so it's good that there are more promotions than usual, so that they start fighting for the 4th division. Okay. Do you see any other questions that you want to reply? Because I have lots of them. I'll mark this one, for instance. Do we get some team customization when we open a new team in a normal league? Yes.
Right. It's exactly the same for any team, any user, new or old, that's starting a team.
And back to the cup. Wouldn't it be better to save the cup for the 2nd season when teams have been more established?
We haven't done it with any league.
How am I gonna have a chance to win it if I have to wait? then the good teams will be too good. No, I don't know, but I think it's pretty cool. I mean, I think it's going to be fun. We all start from the same level, so
exactly.
It's going to be something to optimize for. Maybe you wanna sacrifice promotion to go far in the cup.
Okay. What about this one? Do you have any plans to make outside coaches cheaper? External coaches? So
we haven't discussed anything like that. I don't say no. I don't say that it will never happen, but at least for the near future, we don't have any plans.
Yeah, I guess it refers generally, not in the Homegrown League.
Yeah.
Okay. What else? Yeah, team confidence. Back to team confidence. I highlighted this question by Proprosina. How about raising the starting and default team confidence by 0.5? Would it make much difference?
No, I don't think so. Actually, there was a similar idea. Actually, not. an idea about letting the team confidence. Actually, let me take it back. Right now, at the end of the season, when the new season starts, we reset both team spirit and team confidence, going back to the base level. So there was an idea that we don't reset it fully, we partially reset it. So if you end up with really high team confidence, then you have something better than the middle one. We haven't spec anything like that. It's not planned, but that was one idea that came into the table similar to this. But no, I don't think we are gonna change that. But just to that's too technical. But there's not a baseline anymore. It's depending a lot by the background in confidence and the sports psychology. So one team might have 5, another team might have 4, another like 4.5. So the middle point, the midpoint, is different because based on different variables. So I don't think it's applied to the new mechanic.
Okay, lots of questions lately. For instance, back to the football philosophy thing, or as someone called it in the forum, soccer philosophy. I don't know why people are
No,
using.
it was translated like that in some places. I don't know why, but we'll have to look at that. We can't have soccer in hat-trick.
We don't play soccer here.
No, we don't. No.
Only in the USA. Will we get more details about what each choice includes while we're still able to change it? Because it's true. When you apply for a new team, you only get this question, the drop-down menu, choose your football philosophy, and you don't really know what it entails. So will we add some information to it?
What we said is that for the football philosophy thing, which again it's separate from the team customization, so it has nothing to do with each other. We will have like a little mouse over, like an info button with a small explanation of what that is, and then for the team customization, we'll like have a little explainer, like a text, either in the forum or as a link in the manual or something like that. But that's just like a explanation of what you can expect there. So yeah, we need better information on those both.
Okay. This one, for instance, hat-trick masters. So will first of all teams be able to play in the hat-trick masters? Homegrown League teams?
Eventually, I guess. What we say is that it's only when someone wins the top division, right? So it's gonna take a bunch of seasons before it's happening. But,
and then both teams, the cup winner and the league winner, will be able to play. Okay.
So there is one question.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll highlight this one later.
736 about injuries.
Yeah.
If we can highlight that one, because I want again to yes. I want to fish again for feedback. I mean, those streams are really great to drop ideas that we haven't really decided. We haven't even analyzed anything. It's just like plain ideas, and then we can decide if we spend more time on that. But we are internally discussing lately a lot about injuries and what we can do. And we had that idea that it will be nice in the long term to start removing part of the random, in quotes, from the match engine outside of it. So instead of making totally random and something that you cannot act during the match, we get that part of the random outside before the match. So one of the ideas that came up is we reduce the really long injuries during the match. So you only get like 1-2 weeks of injury, maybe even less. But at the same time, and we reduce them a lot. But at the same time, we add a little bit of chance to get a bruised player during the training update, not injured like bruised. So if you can still use that player in the match, but if you do it, then you risk to get higher injury after that. But it's still your choice and something that you can act before the match. So you see that impact of the random, but it's not something you came out of nowhere. So yeah, we had that idea that we reduce the injuries a lot from inside the mats and move it partially to the training update, but only as bruises, not like injuries of more than 1 week. I see a lot of advantages in this. It gives us some flexibility to play a little bit with the balance that we want to. We reduce the upset, how upset a user can do if end up with a lot of injuries. And I don't think the problem is the short injuries, like one week. Like if you get an injury on Saturday or Sunday and the player is fully healed until the next league match, then totally fine. But the problem is when you start getting 3-4 weeks of injuries and then you lose for 1/3 of the season your players. So if we reduce that part, then that could work. I mean, please do it. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, some people will hate that there is bruises during training for sure. Even if we reduce the injuries a lot during the matches, of course. But I also like this. I like this concept of bringing the random to something that you can manage. It's a very nice concept, I think.
Okay, more questions. Lots of interesting ones. For instance, this one. When will it be possible to register for Guinea?
Yeah, it's what did we say? It's the it should be like the day after, like the few days after the last league match, like when the off season starts is usually when we create the new league. So there's plenty of time to get it up, get your team before the cup starts. Yeah.
And about specialities, would they be similar on all the starting teams? I guess we're still talking about the Homegrown League. And would you know them when you have to choose players from the customization?
For the customization, yeah, you know exactly all the details for the player, like skills and specialty. If they are exactly the same on the starting team, I need to double check it. I'm not 100% sure, but I think we haven't changed anything. It should be the same as in any other new team.
Okay. What about the bots and the cup and the Homegrown League? Will there be bots?
I think we have, we have an logic that we try to minimize that. Like always put real users, but I think it's inevitable that we will have some.
Yeah, we either have bots or a buy for some teams. What else? Yeah, this one. Okay, this has happened to several people. I don't know. I've been reading the question and I'm not sure exactly what happened to Igor Gruzic, but he says he made a mistake. He made a mistake and opened the team. And I don't know where he opened the team, but he doesn't see that the Homegrown League has slots. And he has to close the 4th team and then wait for 16 weeks to create a team in the Homegrown League. If this is what other users experienced, it's the fact that when they opened an additional team, they selected a country instead of the Homegrown League in the drop-down menu. So they opened the team in just another league, not in the Homegrown League.
Yeah.
In this case, if this is what happened to you, you just have to contact the shop and they will give you the 16 weeks rule, the relaxing of the 16-week rule back so that you can close that team. And you have to specify what team you opened this country so that they will find it easy. And then you will be able to close it and start in the Homegrown League. If you have a slot, which I guess you have, for the question. So what else? Do you see, guys, any interesting questions that you want to reply to? There are some obvious questions that we've seen, but maybe we can reply. Like, can a normal player have a second team? Which is similar to why isn't it open for gold supporters?
Okay. Yeah, this question came up, and I guess, I mean, it would have been possible to sell a license to gold supporters, but the whole the whole point of platinum is the additional team. So I just felt like these tiers would just become very confusing if we allowed that. I mean, if you want an additional team, upgrade to platinum and you get some other stuff as well, but it's like we couldn't make it anyway so that it would be a lot cheaper for gold plus club license. So it's just for the clarity. Gold is one, when you're happy with one team and you get a lot of supportive features. Platinum is when you really want an additional team, and diamond is when you just want everything, no restrictions, and gears as well. So I think it's better to keep it like this.
And the more things that we would add, like extra license for gold or things like that, it would be more messy. And
yeah.
When going to the shop and selecting things, and then we've seen, in the campaigns, we see lots of issues. What if I upgrade to this, but then it don't fit with the timing in my extra club license, and it's really messy. So
it's complicated as it is. So
yeah.
But we did consider it. We did, but it was not. We didn't see the advantage, not even for the users. I mean, it would not be a big difference in money or so.
Okay, another one. In the future, will there be an incentive to have wide teams? Any planned changes related to stamina, for example, or fatigue? That thing, that concept that was included in the myth-busting survey, if I remember correctly.
I think that will be the best case scenario for me. I mean, I really love the idea, but it's all so interconnected that you cannot achieve that with a single change. You need to build up until you reach that position. I mean, we cannot force wide teams if we don't change the salaries, or if we don't do something to mitigate the impact of the economy. So it's everything so interconnected that it makes it really hard. But for me, that will be the best part of the game. Like, if everyone doesn't just have 16 players and that's it. They actually not even 16. Like they might have 11, and then they get an injury or a card and they complain, which is totally understandable. But if we can make it that everyone has more players, actually valuable players, but it's not possible with the current system. Like the way the game is right now, there is no logical person that's gonna say, okay, I'm gonna buy a less experienced player so I can have money and buy a second one. No one will gonna do that. If we move towards that direction, it personally, as me specifically, I really like that.
Okay, this has been asked in several streams, but are there any changes for the near future related to the Youth Academy?
Yeah, we have been talking about some stuff, but I don't know if it's ready for the public eye, really. But nothing big. I mean, we haven't absolutely not talked about competitive systems like that. I know because I mentioned that because it has been up before, but that's not on the table. But we have like we're like sniffing around some stuff that you know I mean, for example, maybe how the interface of the scouts work. That you know, maybe you could the way that you have to reject a player before you see the next. So it's something that we like looked a little bit on, but yeah, I'm probably saying too much now. It's not in the plan, so we're always talking about a lot of stuff.
So back
Back
to the Youth Academy. Has the development team ever thought about transfers at the youth academy level?
Yeah, of course. I mean, since we're getting the question every now and then, we have thought about it, but it's never been a serious thought. I think it's quite complicated to do. But I don't know. What do you say, Tassus? Do you see any?
I think it's nice that you kind of need to adapt. If you get like a really great player, and you have to adapt your strategy around your whole training plan around that player, then it will make it like a no-brainer that okay, I can sell, I can trade, it doesn't matter. So I really like that concept that the player that you scout is yours and only yours, and then it's your decision to decide how you're gonna train him until you'll be able to transfer them later on. I don't say it's bad or it has disadvantages. We might decide to do it, but I don't think we have discussed it for real. I don't remember any time discussing about okay, let's sit down and see how we can do that.
Mm-hmm. And related to the Homegrown League, will the teams have a separate time to draw the youth players? I guess. I mean, for all the updates, will the updates be related to the country, or will all teams in the Homegrown League follow the same schedule? I guess that's the question.
No, they were following their own schedule. So homegrown teams pull youth players at the same time and have matches at the same time, obviously.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. So every update will be at the same time for all teams in the Homegrown League. There's another very interesting question that I would like to know. What will it be your strategies for the Homegrown League?
Seriously, I'm with my two enemies, like rivals. I'm gonna share that now. No,
exactly. I'm gonna have to watch Papa Mish's stream before I say anything.
I've already watched it. Mish, delete it now.
My strategy, as always, is to be really lucky when I do my youth pulls. I'm not saying that in a you know.
So you're gonna press buttons.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Replying to the question, my strategy is now let's see what players I get, and then I will see.
Yeah.
I think that if I decide to train goalkeeping, it's the first thing that I will do. It depends on the players I get. If I get many trainable players from the very start, I may not train goalkeeping. But if I have like one or two, then I'm done with that. I'll train goalkeeping for, I will see. And when I have good players with good specialities and things like that, then I will focus on what I get and keeping them competitive. I mean, I'm not planning to win the league. I'm planning to have fun and be tactically competitive. You know, there are other users that will probably do it much better than I will, but I hope they're all not the HTs. I'm planning to be the best of the HTs.
Yeah, it's the only thing that matters.
Yes.
But okay. So what about Youth Academy? Will you start it or wait?
It depends on what I get, but at the beginning, I had the idea of scout network for a few players, but then I thought if I do that, I'd rather train goalkeeping. I don't know. Without seeing the players, I'm undecided. And I've seen all the videos that Mish and other people are uploading, and I may be wrong, maybe I don't know. And there's a lot of comments in the forums about training goalkeeping or not. But I'm thinking maybe I wait until I have a good bunch of players to start the cycle training. So I would focus on goalkeeping first, because then in the middle of the cycle training, it would be silly to train goalkeepers. So that may be my strategy. But as I said, it depends on what I get in the team, which I don't know. So Tassos, come on, say something. Reveal something.
I was so excited about Homegrown League. I was thinking about it for years, and I said that I'm gonna start planning and do everything with pen and paper, and do the whole cycle training, and predict in like 10 seasons ahead how my team will be. But now I said no way. I'm gonna all out attack. I'm gonna train only midfield scoring, nothing else. I'm gonna get like only offensive and midfield ratings. I don't care about defense. I'm gonna enjoy it for the first 5-6 seasons, and after that, I'm gonna decide if I'm gonna do that again, like all out attack from scratch, or then I'm gonna decide like I really want to enjoy it. Like, and if I start planning for something that will happen in 15 seasons, then that's not my style. I never done that for my regular team, so why I should do that for this one as well?
Yeah, the key is enjoying it. I think that's what makes this homegrown league so special, especially for those who, like me, don't enjoy trading. Because, for instance, I wanted to buy lately 2 players. Well, actually, I wanted to buy lots of players, but I ended up buying 2 only, because everyone was outbeating me, or I wasn't online when, and I thought that I would be online when the player was sold, when the deadline finished. And then I finally managed to buy 2 players, one of which I bought with my wrong team, and the other, which I don't know why I didn't check his age, and instead of 17 and a few days, was 18-year-old and 90 days. So I don't like trading. So I would really enjoy the homegrown league, I'm sure, and I'll have lots of fun. So what else?
Yeah, it was like me. I bought a future coach because someone gave me that advice that I should buy it. So I had one on store like for 3 seasons from now, and then like a few days later, I see this player in my squad, and I'm like, why do I have this 38-year-old injured player? And I fired him. And then it's like it takes another 6 days, and then I was like, why did I fire a player worth 150,000 euros? That seems I just bought him, and then I realized what I had done. So yeah, I have to find a new future coach, I guess.
Your story is better than mine. Okay, and Ben's Fact Fire says that he'll probably go for long shot or all-out attack for the homegrown. Well, I don't know if it's a question.
I wouldn't even know how to build a long shot team, so I would definitely not do that. I always wanted to play 3-4-3, so maybe I should do all the attack with the Tassos.
Yeah, I think you should. You like 3-4-3, or go Norwegian. You're a Sweden. I mean,
I can't do that. Sorry.
Is it against your principles?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I don't know about this question that I'm reading. This is regarding the new achievement where you need to have the son of your coach in your starting lineup. I guess it's related to this. Wow, what a long question. At the moment, we can only get sons currently from our scouting network or youth academy, meaning their potential father is a homegrown player or at least having your team's nationality. If it's not too big a tweak, can you introduce this to also apply to other nationality players? Just like in real life, the player is signed into your club, comes with the wife, and they might have a child who will start in the same academy. Oh, and the youth having the teams and youth academies nationalities, no problem.
Yeah.
Wow, what a question.
I love that we have the whole scenario.
Yeah.
I really love this kind of stuff. Yeah, we should save that suggestion somewhere and maybe do it. Not the highest priority, but
we have this question as well about creating a new international competition or expanding masters to include minor cup winners, the secondary cup winners, like the hard trick version of the Conference League, etc. Johan, what do you say?
Okay, so I think the answer to this is that we want to take a little break from this kind of. We've done quite a lot with the World Cup, and then we are now doing a revamp of the Masters itself. So that's on the roadmap. But then I think we want to take a break before we do another big like international tournament for the elite players. We have a lot of work to do for the players further down in the league systems. So I'd like to make that gaming experience better. So not happening in the near future, I don't think.
And back to the question before, players will sometimes divorce from their wife and have immediately a -3 on form. We can add the whole concept or this thing, youth academy with one scout outside of your own country wouldn't be a bad idea. I think, Johan, you like that idea, right?
I really like that idea. I also like the idea of that players that have never played for their national team, and when they play in another league after like a few seasons, they can change nationality or get the second nationality. But I like all those things. Yeah,
it's nice because I remember several years ago we have someone who played in the top division in Greece, like in real football, and there was that rumor that whenever he got a new girlfriend, his performance was significantly dropping. And then he was just getting like breaking up, and then after like a month he had a new one, and then again. So it was like no girlfriend performance was top, with girlfriend performance were in the bottom. So maybe we can create like a dotted link with Popmundo.
exactly. That was my back when we ran both those games. That was always my like on every dev meeting. Like we have to make pop star girlfriends for all the players in Hattrick. Maybe it was a little chauvinistic. But
yeah,
the idea is fine.
A little bit. Yeah, I think it's a little bit crazy. Okay, I don't know if you're seeing any questions that are interesting, but maybe we can just call it a day if no one else has anything else. Now, with this, I'll just highlight this even for myself, because Bulgarian says that he already got the nepotism achievement since my coach's son was coming from my youth team some years ago, still both in my team, so I was lucky. And that makes me think that I could get that and I still haven't gotten it, so I should have a youth player that is the son of a player that I have in the main team, so I should promote him.
You should.
Thank you for reminding me.
You should do that even if he's crap.
Well, it's not crap, but he's 18-year-old now, so it doesn't. But he's solid playmaking and inadequate passing. He could have reached solid passing, but he was too old, and I didn't focus on him. Too old, 18. Well, too old, but hat trick. I mean, if your players are not 17-year-olds, you know what happens.
Yeah.
Oh, look, a question about the hat trick song contest. Oh yes, is the hat trick song contest still happening? I was expecting the details in this off season. Well, it seems it's not happening because we came into something that stopped us, which was the fact that there's this competition in the off-topic or what's in the non-hat trick global forum, in which players choose songs in their own languages from their own country and compete with them to choose the best. It's not what we were planning to do, which was our users writing the songs or using AI to write the songs. But many people that take part in this contest didn't like the fact that we had a similar idea. And in the end, we decided to just rest it and see if we ever do it in another way in the future.
Yeah, we had there was a few weeks when I was kind of crazy with all these AI song generators, and we were talking about. I mean, we have been talking since Chase, has done songs in the past, and we talked about you doing something new. That it would be kind of cool to like. Bring this idea to life and see if the community felt like participating. And then we had the hat trick song contest taking place in Malmö, which is where we're from.
Which is this Saturday.
Which is on Saturday, yeah. And but I guess it ended up also being very tight on time, right? And we had a big release this week anyway. So I think maybe in the end it was for the best that it didn't happen now. Because it would have been a lot of work, especially for you.
Exactly.
But maybe in the future we'll see.
Yeah, I was looking forward to it, but at the same time, I was a little bit overwhelmed with what was coming. Well, it's a lot of work and there are other things to do. So it's fine as it is. I'll watch Eurovision Song Contest on Saturday, and that will be it. Yeah. It would have been good to have like Gussi, for instance, here to say how is Malmo now these days.
It's been going well. I've been following it. I'm not there, but I've been following it. I care a lot about the city, and but it's kind of there's a lot of tension. I mean, politically for various reasons about this contest. So, but I think it's going well. I mean, considering everything, and it will be a nice party on Saturday. I was gonna say about the competition. I forgot. Anyway, it's probably nothing important.
Okay, so if you want, maybe we can just. Okay, Alpa is back. Alpa is back. It doesn't prevent you to sing one day your pretty bad old song, Chase. Well, I was planning to do that. Now this ship has sailed. Yeah. So I'm sorry.
No, but what I was gonna say, and I remember, is that it's a little bit like when you do something like that. I mean, this is not core hat trick, so it's kind of like a little bit outside, right? And there's good points with that because we can do stuff that doesn't take time from the devs. But also there's also the risk that users feel, oh, but you should be working on the match engine. You shouldn't be doing this. I mean, sometimes they have a point, but it would not take any time from any serious work.
I'm not taking care of match engine.
No, exactly. But then when you come out with the idea, you want there to be like a positive energy, like a positive vibe around it. And the first thing you hear is that you stole this idea. And even if that's not true, and when I talked to the people organizing that competition, there were no one that were upset about it. But like the tone was already there. That idea was already out there in the forum, so it would have been something that we would have had to push through and like use more energy than we should have needed to use. And like just given those things, it was just not worth the effort at the moment. And we have plenty of other stuff to do, so it's no hard feelings.
Yeah,
but
we have lots of ideas and things to do in the future.
Sure.
Okay, so to end, two questions about the Homegrown League. We've replied that, but I guess Smiro's just arrived. So will all teams start in 4th and 5th division? And could I be in the same series as him? Who?
Yeah. I guess they will have will they have the chance to move the series, right? I think there might be.
I don't remember when the deadline is, so we need to check.
We'll double check, but yeah, all teams should start in the 5th, or
everyone will be in the lowest division.
Yeah. Exactly.
It won't be any mix.
Okay, that's Miro says he means my friend. Yeah, and related to that, are we satisfied with the number of people that signed up for the new league?
I didn't really know what to expect, to be honest. I think it's a really big ask, because you need to be supported. You need either to give up a team or to buy a new slot. So I think it's amazing that we had 1,200 people in the first day, really. But I didn't know. I guess like we were. I mean, there's like I didn't think we would reach, above more than a few thousand teams because of that. But no, I'm super happy. I think what's important is that we have this amount of people that are excited about it, and
yeah.
So, yeah.
And what I really want to happen is that everyone can join. And the divisions is like the right number of teams for the divisions that we have, like not having lots of bots, or for instance, if we need to have 2048 teams, if I'm not wrong, to have a 5th division, if we get close to that number but without exceeding it, it would be I would be really happy. Because what I don't want is the conundrum, the thinking, oh, what should we do now? Should we open the 5th or 6th division and have lots of bots, or leave people out that want to play? That's what I don't want.
Yeah.
The rest of options, I think they're great. And it's not only, as you say, it's not only the number of registrations, but the overall feeling that you get in the forums about people being anxious to play in the Homegrown League, as I am as well. So I think it's great. So if you want, we could close the call it a day for today, and I just want to show 2 messages that I highlighted. First of all, this one at the very beginning. Hi guys, just wanted to say that I absolutely love the Homegrown League idea. Excellent play, keep the same pace. I continue enjoying the game not less than 20 years ago, and here's the best comments. Nice beards, all 3. Good. Mine is quite short, but thank you. And finally, Papa Mish's comment. I have to say this is one of the most interesting streams of recent times. So great to know.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mish. And so with that, we can just call it a day and see you in the next stream.
See ya.
So,
thanks, everyone.
See you, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.